Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, on a Health Tuesday. Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Reverend Peter Ssenwogerere, who's going to be telling us and teaching us more on the dangers of vaping. So Reverend Peter has a international certified addiction professional level 1, guys. And of course, he's from the Association of Students Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking. So basically, he's fit to be teaching us the dangers of smoking and how, as parents, as guardians, we can look out for that, especially because we know that it has been trending with our young kids in the house. Vaping is just something that can be done inside the house, even in classrooms, and of course it has its dangers. So today we want to find out more on how we can also be cognizant as parents, and of course what we can do to try and eliminate it or eradicate it in the kingdom of Eswatini, and of course we hope internationally. Hello, Ssenwogerere, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you for hosting me.
Thank you for honoring our invite today on the show. This is the golden hour. Yes, can you tell us more about the association that you are currently working for? What you guys do?
The Association of Students Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking, SADAT, was founded in 1998 here in Eswatini. So we have 27 years or thereabout working in this field of substance use. We have young leadership. I'm just coordinator there. Working with a few adults. Otherwise, the leadership of the organization is made up of high school students.
Oh, is it?
Yes, and the current leadership is at Darisire High School. And our president is Mr. Luandle.
Mr. Luandle.
Shiba. Yes, but then the national patron is Her Royal Highness Nkosegati Magellan Tetesa. So we do counseling. We give advice. Because some people come, they just want advice, not this process of counseling. We do training. We do research. We are into what's it called, this crisis management. That's when people want to kill themselves. Basically, that's where it does that. And we're also into management of emergencies. Those are some of the services that we offer in that organization. And they are basically free when we are funded. Now, if you are not funded, you know there are those expenses involved.
That's true.
Yes, please.
So basically, it's a safe haven for young people. Whoever has a problem, whoever is experiencing maybe suicidal thoughts, and all of those things that young people face, they can seek your services, basically.
Yes. But most importantly, before we talk about seeking services, they should become members of the organization. This is the organization. And then when they are there in that organization, then they learn. Because there is this, what is called currently evidence-based services or research or activities, you know. So one of those that doesn't work is sitting in church or in school or standing there and telling people about substance abuse. And also when people come, when you already have a problem, it becomes difficult. But when they join SADAT, they go for training. We give them seminars at their schools, or they come for workshops. They participate in leadership, decision making. So it's best they join instead of coming after they have problems.
Fair enough. That's a very valid point. Very valid. So today we want to learn more about, you know, some of the long-term effects and short-term effects of vaping, because we do know that it's just one of those e-cigarettes that you can carry anywhere and can be utilized anywhere. So can you talk to me about some of the long-term and short-term consequences of vaping?
Before we get there, let me point out that this year's theme for the World No Tobacco Day. Because every day, every year, on the 31st of May, there is this International World No Tobacco Day. And we started in 1987. So every year they have a theme. There's a theme around the world that is given by WHO, the World Health Organization, depending on the trends of tobacco use and policies around the world. So this year's theme is unmasking the fancy stuff that's put around the appeal. I think it's called the appeal. Unmasking that one, what makes young people want to use vaping instead of maybe smoking or doing other things. So that's what basically brings us to talk about vaping this particular time, because the theme is on unmasking the appeal. Yes,
Okay.
please. So basically with the vaping, again, before I talk about the effects, let me just say this. There is a misconcept out there.
Yes.
Or some kind of misunderstanding. There is a lie that is propagated by the tobacco industry.
True.
That vaping helps people who want to quit smoking.
Yes, I've heard it. Yeah.
Now that one is totally false.
Yes.
And we must talk about it and loudly, as loudly as possible. The other one is that vaping is less harmful than smoking tobacco cigarettes. We're talking about vaping here. I'm going to talk about the effects and all, but I want to give a broader introduction to this.
Okay.
Because if we talk about effects, somebody can go on the internet and just download those. But if you give it a background, then even when somebody goes onto the internet to download, they understand what they are seeing.
Yes.
They contextualize the effects we are going to talk about. Right. So saying that it is less harmful than smoking is also false.
Yes.
And we're talking about vaping, but there are other things as well, like the bubbly.
Bubbly.
Yeah,
bubbly.
Something like that.
Something, yeah.
Yes, you find especially young ladies seated around there,
Yes.
you know, and thinking that they are doing no harm to themselves.
True.
Or when you talk to them, they say this is less dangerous. No, it is not.
Okay.
Then we also have heated tobacco products.
Yes.
Heated tobacco products.
Yes.
When you look at the gadgets, they look like e-cigarettes.
Yes.
So, but this one is not vaping. This one is vaping.
Okay.
And the heated tobacco products have tobacco in them.
Okay.
But the system will be the same because you'll get a vapor.
Okay.
But that is tobacco. Now, in the e-cigarettes, which are more common nowadays,
yes,
you have nicotine liquid.
Yes.
And then the other things that produce the heat,
yes,
and then you get the vapor.
Yes.
And those about 160,000
okay,
flavors. That sounds out
wow,
of this world.
Okay.
Yes, that makes it attractive.
Yes.
That's the appeal we are trying to unmask now.
Okay.
And saying vaping is as bad as smoking.
Okay.
Only that we have been lied to.
Yes.
We've been sold a dummy too.
Okay.
So now, why do I say this? The moment there is nicotine in a product, that product is dangerous.
True.
Now, you may not have the tar or some other things that are in tobacco when you light it, but then there are some other substances that you will get when you are inhaling this nicotine, irrespective of how you are getting it, as long as it is through the mouth.
Okay.
Now, the effects, therefore, are going to be the same as for somebody who is using a cigarette.
Cigarette, yes.
Now, here is the a small trick. It is true that vaping has less nicotine and less of those things than a cigarette.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
But then it has more of other chemicals that you don't even find
in a cigarette.
Yes. So this is manufactured and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So there are certain chemicals that are coming up when people are using that and inhaling those ones as well. So we must be aware of this as well.
Okay.
But now, I'm not running away from this direct question of the effects. I usually don't want to answer those questions, which one can download on the internet. But I want to give that background for somebody to understand this clearly.
Okay.
If we had the 2 bottles here, I want to put a third one. If we had the 2 bottles, this one says poisonous. This one says less poisonous. But you have the option of not taking either.
Either, yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
You have this one says poisonous. This one says less poisonous.
Yeah.
Which one would you choose? If you have the option of not choosing any.
If you have the option of not choosing any,
yes,
then just don't choose any. Yes.
Because I would like the viewers and listeners to understand this. Saying is less harmful does not make it unharmful.
Yes.
And the number of factors why nicotine in vaping or nicotine in a cigarette affects one individual differently and another one differently. You have to put all those factors together.
Okay.
Now, if you have vaping and you think you are taking less nicotine, but how often are you smoking?
Yes.
How many times are you vaping?
Yes.
Can't that make up for what you do be puffing in a cigarette?
Yes, that's true.
Now, let us go back to the quick questions, the simple questions.
Yes.
And I would advise parents and young people, both those who are already using these things, vaping or not, to check the internet.
Yes.
With that same question and get the effects. But again, there is some caution here.
Yeah.
When you check the internet, many times it's full of stuff.
Yes.
You can put the question there and you get 10,000, for instance,
yes.
pages or posts saying this thing. But look for WHO. Look for the World Health
yes.
Organization pages
yes.
or sites.
Yes.
Or look for the Centers for Disease Control, those pages.
Okay.
Or just Google SADAT.
Okay.
You just put there at SADAT Swaziland. Or just write there, Association of Students Against Drug Abuse and Trafficking.
Okay.
Then you get the correct information or correct effects.
Yes.
Because here you have the tobacco industry. It is producing those things as well. And they know that eventually people who use this may end up smoking the real cigarettes. And it happens, some do.
Yes.
Although studies are still out there.
Okay.
Then we have this situation that this is a new thing. They are still called novel products in smoking.
Yes.
So the effects, long-term effects, are not yet there totally clearly done.
Okay.
So that's why you'll find some people saying, this is not harmful, where are the studies and so on.
Yes.
Number one, for the short term, irritation of the throat,
yes.
Dizziness,
yes.
nausea, this feeling of somebody wanting to vomit.
Okay.
And then as time goes on, but within the short term, one can also get withdrawal symptoms.
Okay.
These are the reactions, we call them unpleasant
yes.
reactions of the body to the absence of nicotine, if I'm specific now to vaping.
Okay.
Now, in the long time, these are being studied, but because there is this nicotine that we already know about,
yes.
and some studies have already indicated, you are likely to get certain cancers, about 20 of them.
Okay.
Because in this vape, there are some carcinogens.
Yes.
There are some substances which are known to cause cancer.
Okay.
So how much will that happen later as people continue using? If they do, actually,
yes.
we may get a worse situation
That's
than for tobacco. For tobacco, we know because it's been here for a long time.
Yes.
Studies have been made. We know how many people it kills and what have you. Otherwise, nicotine in general, not vaping only.
Yes.
So here we talk about tobacco products in general, okay? 80 million people die every year.
80 million, that's such a big number.
And you may be interested to know later what is the side, whatever secondhand smoking does to these people who don't smoke.
That's true.
Yeah, like your family people smoke and so on. Of those 8 million people
yes.
that die because of tobacco products, 1.2 are non-smokers.
Oh, 1.2.
1.2 million people die a year.
Okay,
because of
1.2 million. That's such a big number.
Smoke.
I definitely do feel like it's hazardous. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. You see, now I'm invested in the conversation and I want to keep knowing more about it. I like the fact that you did give us a background. And I think we are probably going to have like a follow-up interview because I want to find out specifically why these things are being passed out and put in the market when they have been proven or studies are being done to show that they are very hazardous. How does that even happen? How can we step in, or World Health Organization or different health organizations that can step in to put an end to the fact that they must be produced and put out in the market because they are hazardous, right?